Sommige decors waren gewoon te groot voor binnenopname. De 150 meter lange rietenzaal bijvoorbeeld.
Emperor, we come for you.
Nu ze de sets volledig onder controle hadden, kon worden gedacht aan de merkwaardige onaardse wezens van Dune. Een van de levensvormen die werden gecreëerd is de zogenaamde navigator. Een wezen dat 6 meter groot is, de ruimte kan samenvouwen en van de ene melkweg naar de andere reizen zonder zich echt te verplaatsen. Carlo Rambaldi heeft 3 Oscars op zijn naam en is de ontwerper van E.T. Hij heeft, met de hulp van Lynch, de weinig benijdenswaardige taak op zich genomen om levenloos klei tot leven te brengen. Onder toezicht van Rambaldi hebben 15 mensen 3 maanden lang aan de navigator gewerkt. Elk van hen had een specifieke taak die de transformatie tot stand moest helpen brengen. Zo gauw het proces van boetseren en retoucheren gedaan was, begon de navigator gestalte te krijgen en zijn eigen leven te leiden. Met behulp van een ingewikkeld systeem van kabels en kranen konden de operateurs 41 levensechte bewegingen simuleren. Toen werd het wezen van Los Angeles naar Mexico-stad overgebracht, waar het een paar ultieme tests onderging. Niemand was aangenamer verrast door het succes van de navigator dan zijn ontwerper Tony Masters.
I was completely free about what I designed. I had no idea whether we could make them work or not until I spoke to Carlo, and he has in fact made them exactly as we designed them, and the things work magnificently. I mean, they're just like live animals. Roll it!
Toen de scène tenslotte gefilmd werd, werkten 22 operateurs in perfecte harmonie samen om de navigator op het scherm leven in te blazen. Het realisme van Rambaldi's werk versterkt nog het spel van José Ferrer, die de rol van de machtige keizer vertolkt.
The creature is so beautifully constructed that with my actor's imagination I give him powers of life and I make myself believe that he's a really living, breathing creature and I act with him.
De navigator is een belangrijk element in het verhaal, maar de monsters die de belangstelling het meest prikkelen zijn de legendarische zandwormen, de bewakers van de woestijn van Dune.
Whenever people know that I'm working on Dune, the question I get all the time is how are you going to do the worms?
Er was een portie echte filmmagie nodig om de illusie te wekken van 300 meter lange wormen. Met behulp van reuzengrote blauwe schermen liet de technische ploeg de acteurs simuleren dat ze werden aangevallen. Later in het labo werd het blauw van de schermen vervangen door de wormen. En zo werd de scène compleet. Voor sommige acteurs zoals Francesca Annis, die de rol speelt van Lady Jessica, was reageren op een bedreigende, denkbeeldige vijand een nieuwe ervaring.
More than anything, its size was the most difficult thing to come to terms with. I mean, this is no ordinary worm.
Just draw upon the imagination and hope that you're in scale with what the audience is going to see, you know, in reactions. That's the biggest worry.
Toen de begindatum van de eigenlijke filmopname naderde, bracht Frank Herbert voor het eerst een bezoek aan de sets om te zien hoe zijn droom gestalte kreeg.
The difficulty is actually building the sets, creating the reality that before you could build cheaply in your head.
Dat was geen toeval. David Lynch en Herbert hadden in wezen hetzelfde beeld van Dune. Het scenario van Lynch was sterk gebaseerd op Herberts boek en daardoor groeide er een speciale relatie tussen hen.
The 3 PO's, which are always plastic, cheap plastic copies.
He's been more of a friend and a supporter than anything else, which is the most important thing that he could be.
It's going to be a real story about real people. That's what David Lynch is doing. Okay, Frank?
Op 30 maart 1983, na 2 jaar van voorbereidingen, brak tenslotte de dag aan waar Herbert zo lang van had gedroomd. De dag dat Dune een levende planeet zou worden.
Dune. Slate 1, take 1.
After 20 years of, Frank's, book being out and 2 years of, me being, on the picture, cameras are finally going to start, being cranked up today. It's a great day.
Een van de eerste locaties waar de filmploeg naartoe trok was een woestijn in Juarez in Mexico. 300 arbeiders hadden er 3 maanden over gedaan om een gebied van 64 vierkante kilometer te ontdoen van alle struikgewas, stenen en cactussen.
This place was covered with bushes. And now, see, they've cleaned it all off. And then there was footprints all over the place. But then 2 nights ago, they had this huge storm, and wind came in, and now it's just the perfect time to be here. It's really going to be incredible.
De hitte was onvoorstelbaar. Bij een temperatuur van bijna 50 graden Celsius speelden acteurs zoals Paul Smith aanhoudend in de blakende zon tot ze erbij neervielen.
Today is 120. I'm in a costume that weighs 120 pounds. It does not breathe. And I'm waiting for them to say action. I said, David, I'm not sure I'm going to get to the camera. He wants me 8 steps from the camera. It's about a 300-yard walk.
Paul?
Yeah.
Have you got one more?
Sure, I got 10 more. Whereas, I will never forget it.
Terwijl de technische ploeg alles in gereedheid bracht voor een gesimuleerde zandstorm, zag Kit West, de verantwoordelijke voor de mechanische speciale effecten, nerveus toe op het plaatsen van de ladingen springstoffen voor een grote gevechtscène. Die gevaarlijke sequentie werd nog bemoeilijkt door de onervarenheid van de figuranten en door de taalbarrière.
The majority of the extras were Mexican army, and naturally these boys have never experienced anything similar to this. When you get 2,000 or 3,000 people running, there's always somebody who might think it's quicker to go to the right instead of going where he's told he's to go, and then we're in trouble.
Okay, David.
Dankzij een goede organisatie en veiligheidsvoorzieningen werd tijdens deze scène niemand gewond. Een ander opvallend visueel effect is het vermogen van de boze baron Harkonnen om in de lucht te zweven. Om dit resultaat te bereiken waren er elke dag uren nodig om acteur Ken Macmillan in zijn afzichtelijk personage te helpen kruipen. Het was een hele opgave om het gewicht van zijn op maat gemaakte vetpak te dragen. Met het pak woog Macmillan meer dan 200 kilogram. Hij moest op de set geholpen worden, waar hij werd vastgemaakt aan een kraan die hoog boven de filmploeg hing. Er werden een paar correcties aangebracht, de draden werden geverfd en speciaal belicht, zodat ze voor de camera verborgen bleven. Toen de scène werd opgenomen, zweefde de baron niet op de onaardse tonen die bij de film te horen zullen zijn, maar op het vertrouwde ritme van swingende muziek. Die werd gebruikt om Ken in de stemming te brengen. Om de haast mystieke sfeer van Dune te vatten, moest speciale aandacht worden besteed aan de filmmuziek. Een succesrijke rockband, Toto, werd aangezocht om de vele subtiliteiten van de film te onderstrepen. De muziek heeft een epische boventoon, maar de filosofie waarmee de componist David Page het project benaderde was erg simpel.
Certainly if there's a love scene going on, you're not going to write thunderous, evil music. You're going to write something pretty and passionate.
Een van de vele muzikale thema's is een strijdthema. Synthesizermuziek als achtergrond bij een gevecht van robotten. En één thema voor Paul, het hoofdpersonage. Terwijl de rest van de groep aan de partituur werkte, reisde Page naar Wenen om hun composities op te nemen met het 90 man sterke Weense symfonieorkest. Toto moest zich voor dit project niet alleen bezighouden met het technische aspect van de opname, maar ook met het timen van de muziek met de verschillende filmsequenties.
When that thing fades out, something keeps going over the top of that, into that.
Terwijl David Lynch luisterde, begon de soundtrack van Dune vorm te krijgen.
Seeing scenes come alive, totally being transformed. It was powerful.
Er zijn 20 jaar verstreken sinds Frank Herbert ons kennis heeft laten maken met Dune. Hij zelf is de grootste fan van Dune en hij denkt dat de film een getrouwe weergave zal zijn van zijn werk.
I'm not one of these authors who sits there tearing his hair out saying, what are you doing to my baby? Because I know what they're doing to my baby. They're doing a beautiful job.
Dune is het resultaat van samenwerking. Van het literaire werk van Frank Herbert tot de interpretatie van regisseur David Lynch. Zij en vele anderen hebben samengewerkt om een verhaal op film te krijgen dat nog jaren tot onze verbeelding zal spreken. Het verhaal van Dune.
En Robert Benton werd internationaal bekend met zijn film Kramer vs. Kramer. Hij heeft nu een nieuwe productie beëindigd en die heet Places in the Heart. Deze film heeft een paar dagen geleden op het jongste festival van Berlijn de Zilveren Beer gekregen. Het verhaal speelt in Texas in de loop van de jaren 30, dus dat betekent de economische crisis. En in een klein dorp woont een zekere Edna Spalding. Zij is een jonge weduwe die na de dood van haar echtgenoot voor haar kinderen tracht te zorgen. Ze wil katoen gaan planten en dat blijkt niet zo'n eenvoudige opdracht te zijn. U ziet nu een gesprek met regisseur Robert Benton en dan Sally Field, Lindsay Krauss, Ed Harris en Amy Madigan vertolken de belangrijkste rollen in deze film.
Down in the cotton patch down below, everybody's singing the Cotton Eye Joe.
Ready, ma'am?
Everybody's singing the Cotton Eye Joe.
Get along, mule. Get along. Get along, mule.
I'd have been married a long time ago.
Get along there.
Down in the cotton patch down below, everybody's singing the Cotton Eye Joe. Everybody's singing the Cotton Eye Joe. Had not have been for the Cotton Eye Joe, I'd have been married a long time ago. I'd have been married a long time ago.
I have the impression, sir, that Texas is very near to your heart.
Yes, it is. It is a place.
It's a question of the family, I believe.
Yes, I grew up in a small town in Texas, and 4 generations of my family before me had lived there. And it is a place that I have been very close to. And it is part of my family and part of my life, that town.
Could we call your film a film of memory?
Yes, that would be an extremely accurate description of it. It is, more than being literally autobiographical, it is a film of memories of my childhood.
Were you happy then?
I had a very happy childhood in a very hard time. It was the middle of the American Depression in the 1930s, and it was a very difficult time. But because I was a child, I remembered none of those extraordinary difficulties that I later realized had happened. For through a child's eyes, everything is golden.
But you realized it afterwards, and
I realized it afterwards, and the movie incorporates, I think, hopefully, both the joy of childhood and the hardships that people went through.
It's also a tribute to the life of small towns.
For me it is. For me it is a way of explaining to our son the kind of world I grew up in that's disappeared now, and what a wonderful place it was.
Morning.
Morning.
Down in Chicago yesterday. Cotton held steady after dropping to a record low of 3.5 cents a pound over the last 4 days. Poultry and eggs were down to a seasonal low. Corn remains unchanged. Soybeans gained.
So let me see it. 3.5 cents a pound. 30 acres. That would be...
That comes to $175.
You think there's any chance cotton prices will go back up?
How much money you got left in your account?
$24. That's all.
Well, that's not going to be nearly enough to make your next payment.
I know. I was wondering, if I was to give you what I made from my cotton, it would cover most of the payment. Could you all maybe wait for the rest?
Well, of course, that's something only the president of the bank can decide, but I don't think you should get your
Could you
hopes up.
ask?
Was it difficult to find the right actors for the right characters?
It's always difficult, you think, but in this case, it was the easiest that I have ever seen. I have a habit as a writer, while I'm writing on the screenplay of a picture, of keeping photographs of the actors that I have in mind pinned on the wall above my typewriter. And in this case, from the moment I began to write the character of Edna Spaulding, who's the central figure in the film, the first and only photograph I ever put up was that of Sally Field, who is, I think, one of that handful of great actors that are around now. And she, in addition to that, she has the unique ability of being able to do that thing that we call in America to disappear into the part. That is to seem to be the character, seem to simply become the character. That you never can see her acting it. She just transforms herself.
One of the great qualities of your film is the authenticity. You find that in the actors, but you find it also in the photography, I think, and the design. Was the film made on location?
Yes, the film was made in the town where all of the events in that town occurred. And so it was for me not only going home again to see it, to visit and live again in a place where I grew up, but it was a chance to turn my childhood, turn the clock back, literally turn the clock back, so that I made that town the way it was when I was 10 years old. And it was thrilling. We paid a great deal of attention to the authenticity. And especially in the film, there is a tornado, which is a kind of American storm that's extremely violent and extremely dangerous. And it erupts very suddenly and disappears very quickly. And we spent a long time preparing for this tornado and shooting this tornado, which was very violent and very dangerous to do. And it was for the people in town who were very blasé about a movie company coming in there and shooting a picture there. It was for them the only part that they found exciting. When we had all the wind machines going, we were blowing up building and people were running for their lives. It was very exciting for them.
Possum!
especially like the color, the tones of the color. You like to work with Nestor Almendros.
I believe Nestor Almendros is one of the great artists of this time. He is. This is the third picture we've done together. The first we worked on was Kramer versus Kramer. He is, I think, a collaborator in terms of what that picture has become. I mean, so much of the, not just the beauty of the picture, but the meaning and the emotion of the picture and the warmth of the picture come from Nestor Almendros' work. He is a great, great artist.
Your film got many nominations for the Academy Award, but you already got two, one for writing and one for directing. Was that important in your career?
The Academy Award is a very, very important award for anyone in the motion picture business. It's the recognition by your peers of your work. And for that reason, it means a great deal to all of us. It also, in terms of not simply our film Places in the Heart, but all of the films that are nominated this year, it always means a great deal economically to the film, because finally what it is a stamp of quality, I suppose, considered throughout the United States, a stamp of a kind of quality that attracts a great many people who don't normally go to the theater.
I believe that the team you have in your film, and the team of Country and the team of The River, is it pure coincidence that those three films come, or is America interested by rural problems?
I don't know. I mean, I've not talked to the other directors or writers. I was as surprised and dismayed to learn about their pictures as I'm certain they were to learn about our picture. I think it is, obviously it's a pure coincidence, but I think what it is a lot of the directors and writers in America are trying very hard to get away from the customary picture of sort of teenage New York movie and find some other picture to do. I mean, it's just as an artist, you want to find some other way, some other subject matter, something else to write about, something else to direct, something else to act. And I think it was for all of us. I think you will see in America, in the United States, in the next few years, a great flowering of films that are not about the usual subject matter. A great struggle now to look for other places to shoot pictures, other subject matter to make movies about.
But I have the impression that human emotions are much important to you.
Yes, they are. They are. The older I get, and I'm getting older quickly, the more important they are to me. It is the valuable thing in life.
Frank, when your pa did this, how did you do it? Most times, I lean over the table, grab hold, and he'd let me have it. How many times? Pa would be mad over something like this. I reckon he'd give me 10 good licks. I'm ready. Ma, I'm ready.
What's wrong?
Frank's getting a licking. Frank, did it hurt? Frank! Frank!
Come on. Let's let old Frank be by himself for a bit. I'll tell you what. Pick up a little George.
Miss Spaulding?
I won't do that again. Ever.
Are you all right?
God, I miss my husband.
Vorige week zag u een fragment uit de boeiende film Kaos, gemaakt door de gebroeders Taviani. Kaos is, zoals u wel weet, een verzameling verhalen geschreven door Luigi Pirandello. En in Rome sprak Gideon Bachman met Vittorio en Paolo Taviani. Het ging over een jarenlange samenwerking, over Pirandello en uiteraard ook over Kaos.
Perché mi avete sempre nascosto di quest'altro figlio? E invece dovete bere, ne avete bisogno.
Oh, vedete, sudo freddo solo se Vossignoria mi parla di quel figlio.
Ma perché? Che vi ha fatto?
Oh, niente. È bravo, rispettoso, onesto.
Non capisco perché non volete andare a vivere a casa sua.
Perché io l'ho fatto. Ma non è mio figlio.
Volete farmi credere di essere davvero matta?
Certe cose, Vossignoria, non può manco immaginarle. Perché è ancora un ragazzo.
Bevisse, caso età ci fa bene.
Quale ragazzo? Se non mi spiegate di questo vostro figlio, non vi scrivo nessuna lettera.
Mi dispiace di porvi questa domanda solita, ma come fate a lavorare insieme?
Ma guarda, è stata fatta altre volte questa domanda, però noi ci diverte sempre rispondere perché è una domanda che ha due risposte, una seria e una invece ironica. Comincio con quella ironica. Primo, non è un fatto nuovo nella storia del cinema che ci siano due registi fratelli, perché la storia del cinema è iniziata con due fratelli che si chiamavano i fratelli Lumière. Poi c'è chi ha voluto interpretare astrologicamente il nostro rapporto. Io sono nato sotto il segno dello Scorpione, Vittorio è nato sotto il segno della Vergine, sono due segni complementari e opposti. Poi diciamo anche che serve molto essere in due, perché così quando abbiamo un'intervista come questa possiamo alternarci nelle risposte. Parlando un po' più seriamente...
No, hai detto la cosa più importante.
Ce n'è un'altra, me l'ho dimenticata. Sì,
che sono due mezze nevrosi che fanno,
questa è una cosa seria.
fanno una nevrosi sola.
Ma questa è una cosa seria.
Fa serio scherzoso.
Due mezze nevrosi che fanno una sola nevrosi. E che mi hai tolto la risposta seria. Comunque, noi diciamo che è veramente un mistero, è un caso che ci è capitato. Noi sorvegliamo questo caso perché finora ha prodotto dei risultati. Il giorno che questi risultati non ci saranno più, ci porremo il problema di separarci. Non ci pare di intravederlo nel futuro, comunque tutto è possibile nella vita. Però pensa che malinconia, se ci separiamo e ciascuno di noi fa il suo film, che dovremo andare magari al Festival di Venezia o al Festival di Cannes concorrendo come esordienti con l'opera prima.
Adesso, questa volta, avete un terzo fratello, che è Pirandello, in un certo senso una persona di un'anima vicina, che anche lui trattava sempre di varie regioni dell'Italia, specificamente della sua, che è la Sicilia. Voi perché avete scelto Pirandello per fare Kaos?
Guarda, giustamente tu hai detto Pirandello e Sicilia, ecco. In fondo Kaos viene dietro due film che in certo modo sono simili. Noi in questi anni sentiamo il bisogno di raccontare delle storie che appartengono alla comunità tutta, in particolare che appartengono alla gente della terra. Noi siamo un paese in fondo di origine contadina, penso che tutta l'Europa lo sia, e quindi abbiamo raccontato queste storie raccolte dalla gente, prima in Sardegna con Padre Padrone, poi siamo andati in Toscana con la Notte di San Lorenzo, e poi ci siamo detti ora è il momento di tornare in Sicilia. Perché tornare? Perché in fondo Sicilia è il nostro primo amore cinematografico. Il nostro primo film l'abbiamo girato in Sicilia, su una storia siciliana, e abbiamo incontrato questo paese che noi amiamo moltissimo per quello che è come natura e storia e come gente. Quindi abbiamo detto andiamo in Sicilia a raccogliere materiale, a trovare delle storie che nascono così un po' proprio dall'humus più semplice, e mentre raccoglievamo questo materiale la sera ci rileggevamo gli autori siciliani, tra questi Pirandello. E a un certo punto ci siamo resi conto, rileggendo le novelle per un anno, che il materiale che stavamo cercando, in fondo, Pirandello l'aveva già trovato, come tu hai detto, ed è questo materiale estremamente ricco, che sono queste novelle contadine. Ecco, qui è bene precisare questo, cioè il Pirandello più alto, il Pirandello più sublime, il Pirandello dal quale nessun autore del nostro tempo, secondo noi, può prescindere, è il Pirandello del teatro, dei 6 personaggi, di questa sera si recita soggetto, ma non è quello il Pirandello a cui noi siamo avvicinati, anche perché quel Pirandello lì è talmente fissato ormai nel suo linguaggio, il rapporto col teatro, che mi sembra quasi impossibile scomporlo. Non è nemmeno il Pirandello cittadino delle novelle in cui la borghesia appare come questo mostro che Pirandello attacca con brutalità, con violenza, con sarcasmo. No, questo è il Pirandello proprio della sua terra, di Agrigento, della sua Sicilia, ed è un Pirandello abbastanza particolare, forse il meno conosciuto. È il Pirandello che si avvicina alla sua gente con rispetto per il suo dolore, per la sua fatica, con complicità per le sue superstizioni, per le sue beffe, con senso di comunanza per certe malattie, per certe passioni, per certi amori. Addirittura è un Pirandello che alcune volte, raccontando storie di queste comunità, raggiunge anche toni epici. Ecco, questo aspetto di Pirandello è quello che ce l'ha fatto sentire più vicino al modo in cui noi ci avviciniamo alla realtà e al cinema, e probabilmente forzando Pirandello, travolgendo anche un po' Pirandello, abbiamo fatto Kaos. Quindi io credo che questo nostro incontro con Pirandello è un incontro, ma è anche uno scontro con Pirandello.
Chi lo piglia esso? Tirate! Tirate! Spaglia!
Ci provo io, fatemi tirare a mia. Ora tocca a me.
Sei ovvo.
Tirate,
tirate. Ma che stai facendo?
Ma che fai? Non dipende.
Ma tu non giochi.
Ma te ne non vergognate allora.
Che è? Ridammi l'animale. Ma che sta facendo? Musica. Godi.
L'unica cosa che Pirandello non avrebbe potuto fare, che voi avete invece fatto, è di mettersi in aria e guardare tutto da sopra, come avete fatto voi in Kaos. Tutti questi voli fantasiosi e anche fantastici che rischiano di creare una certa distanza a quella terra sotto.
Ma a noi ci sembra invece che sia un mezzo straordinario di piombare su questa terra. Quando abbiamo letto questa novella del Corvo, che era molto diversa in Pirandello, e abbiamo capito che c'era questa possibilità di volare con questo corvo, con una campanellina attaccata al collo, per i cieli della Sicilia, e abbassarci e scendere volta a volta a incontrare i nostri personaggi, siamo stati molto felici, contrariamente a quello che tu stavi dicendo, perché sentivamo che era proprio quel salto che Pirandello non poteva fare, perché non aveva la macchina da presa, perché non aveva l'elicottero, non aveva la possibilità, quel mezzo stupendo che è il cinema, di passare a volo d'uccello appunto la sua terra, poter atterrare, scendere, ripartire. E poi il corvo nella parte finale scompare e probabilmente quegli occhi del corvo che hanno guardato questa realtà, secondo noi, si sono trasformati in Pirandello stesso che scende dal treno e che con i suoi occhi vede la realtà del ritorno a casa.
In fondo il viaggio continua, prima sui cieli, poi su un treno, ma è sempre un viaggio.
Poi anche con la gente che parte dalla Terra e va in America, che è la storiella più bella di quel film, secondo me. Che...
La prima, ma l'altro figlio, sì. Molto drammatica, molto tragica, purtroppo ancora attuale.
A noi piace molto, visto che stiamo commentando il nostro film, a noi una cosa che piace molto, non tanto appunto se è riuscito o no, è un po' il senso di quelle parole che la madre di Pirandello nel colloquio finale usa con il figlio quando gli dice: impara a vedere le cose anche con gli occhi di chi non c'è più, ne proverai dolore certo, ma queste le cose ti sembreranno più sacre, più belle. Cioè è un invito a coltivare la memoria, è un invito a non rimpiangere il passato, ma a affrontare il passato, cercando di farlo rivivere e appunto coltivare la memoria, dicevo, cercare di capire da dove veniamo per capire meglio chi siamo noi oggi.
No, non piangere, Luigi. Se me vuoi bene, così mi devi pensare, come mi vedi qui ora. Viva!
Mamma, viva, sì, viva. Ma io non piango per questo. Certo, mamma, che io ti penso. Ti vedo così come sei qui. Riuscirò sempre a immaginarti come ti immagino ora, viva, seduta sulla tua poltrona. Ma io piango per altro, mamma. Io piango perché tu non puoi più pensare a me. Quando stavi seduta qui in questo angolo io dicevo: se ella da lontano mi pensa, io sono vivo per lei. E questo mi sosteneva e mi confortava. Ora che tu sei morta e non mi pensi più, io non sono più vivo per te e non lo sarò mai più.
Nu lees ik u eerst enkele berichtjes voor. In de loop van de maand maart zijn er in België 3 filmfestivals. Eerst en vooral het 15e Internationaal Filmfestival van Antwerpen voor de Benelux. Het heeft plaats, het wordt georganiseerd tussen 17 en 27 maart. Vroeger heette dit festival Film International. Er worden vertoningen georganiseerd in het Filmhuis aan de Stadswaag en in de bioscopen Brabo, Tijl en Wapper in het centrum van de stad. En er gebeurt heel wat op dat festival. Er worden meer dan 120 films vertoond uit 25 landen. Het overwicht ligt in Engeland, maar er zijn ook films uit Denemarken en uit Spanje. Er wordt hulde gebracht aan de Amerikaanse onafhankelijke productie en aan de Britse regisseurs Michael Powell en Emmerich Pressburger. En tenslotte is er een retrospectieve van 25 jaar Japanse film. Voor alle inlichtingen kan u terecht in het Filmhuis van 14 maart af. Festival nummer 2. Van 15 tot 30 maart in de Passage 44 te Brussel, het derde internationaal festival van de fantastische en van de science fiction film. Openingsfilm is Dune. En tenslotte van 6 tot en met 12 maart, eveneens te Brussel, het 6e internationaal festival van vrouwenfilms. En dit wordt georganiseerd in Cinema Métropole. En zo komen we tot ons laatste fragment en het gaat over de productie die Brazil heet en die gemaakt is door Terry Gilliam. Terry Gilliam is vooral bekend als tekenaar van de Monty Python Group. Hij heeft ook al enkele films zelf geregisseerd, Jabberwocky en Time Bandits. En zijn derde lange speelfilm, Brazil, loopt nu in de bioscoop in ons land. Het is een bijzonder moeilijke film die aanleiding zal geven tot heel wat discussie. Gilliam heeft het over een samenleving gelijk Orwell beschreven heeft. En daarin is een dromer, een zekere Sam Lowry, die tracht overeind te blijven. Het is een zwarte komedie die soms een echte nachtmerrie wordt. En wat hij er allemaal mee bedoelde, hebben we aan Terry Gilliam zelf gevraagd. So we all know you from the Monty Pythons, but is Brazil, is that a Monty Python vision on the world, or is it your personal vision?
I suppose it's my vision. I actually think it's somebody else's vision, but I'm not sure whose vision it is. I've always had this feeling while I've been making this film that there's somebody up controlling me. I'm merely a marionette that is dancing to the tune of somebody else. It's definitely not Monty Python. And I think it's important that people, when they go to see the film, understand that, because even though it's funny, it's very tragic and it's romantic and it's a lot of things. It's exciting, it's disturbing, and those are things we don't try to do in Monty Python, and I've tried to do in Brazil. So it's a much more demanding film. You've got to get involved in this film. All sorts of things happen to you. It's a great attack on people.
Why Brazil?
It's the song. I mean, for some reason that song has always been in the back of my brain. I love the tune. And it always produced images of beautiful, innocent escape, romantic beaches with palms and all of things like that. And I thought that was a perfect contrast to the world that we were creating in reality in the film, and it becomes the theme for our main character's attempts at escaping and fantasizing, and his dreams all use that song as their theme.
It could be called a film about fantasy and imagination, no?
I think so. I think ultimately at the end of the film, which to some people is a very black ending, I don't think it is, because the one thing that's still alive at the end is imagination. I mean, it's the one thing that seems to be important, whatever else happens to us, that we sustain our imagination. And the film is about, I suppose, trying to encourage people to be more imaginative. I think a lot of modern films are not about imagination. They're about repeating what people have already seen and experienced, and they're reassuring, but they don't expand people. They don't demand that they think and see things in different ways, and I think that's important to try to continue that tradition.
I saw your film this morning, and to me it was a real nightmare.
I think what's interesting is I think the film takes a while to absorb. I mean, I'd be interested in talking to you tomorrow or maybe next day and see what you think, because I think the initial response is, good God, what's happened? Blah! This thing has hit me. And it isn't just one hit, it just keeps hitting you. And then what I find is people a day later, and it stays with them. They keep thinking about it, and a lot of people want to go back and see it again. It's interesting, I think. I like to think of it as an entertainment and an experiment in the human condition.
I have the impression that there are two parts in the film: a word of reality, a word of dreams.
Yeah.
But I also think that the word of dreams is not so developed as the word of reality is. Am I correct?
That's interesting. I think the dreams are. Well, there's sort of almost two answers to that. On one hand, the dreams aren't very developed because they're very simplistic, infantile dreams almost, and the reality is far more complicated. Also, when we were making the film, about 12 weeks into the film, I realized that we were going to be well over budget and the film would be 5 hours long. because originally it was almost like two parallel films, one dream film and one reality film, and they crossed and changed and eventually became one. And because of the impossibility of doing the script as we wrote it, I just cut a lot out, and what I cut out were the dreams. And I was also finding as we were making it that the reality became more and more bizarre and more strange, and it became almost like a dream itself. So I think I achieved what I wanted to achieve in the dreams in the sections of reality. So I think, all in all, I think it was probably for the better that I did these changes.
Was your film shot on location or in a studio?
Both. I mean, it was basically shot in London and around London. We did like 4 days in Paris for in an amazing building designed by Ricardo Bofill, and the rest was in London. And we built things like the interior of the ministry. We built Sam's flat. But the most interesting parts of the film, the most interesting sets, are locations that we altered slightly, where we changed things, where we used a power plant, an electricity generating plant, and so that became the exterior of the ministry. It also, we used one of those big towers. I don't know how you describe them, but they're cooling towers for cooling the water. Yeah, and that's the interior of one of those towers is the information retrieval room where the film ends. And I'd always wanted to look inside one of those, and I looked inside and said, we must do this.
Don't fight it, son. Confess, quickly. If you hold out too long, you could jeopardize your credit rating.
Robert De Niro is in your film. How did he react when you proposed the part to him?
It was very easy. I mean, this was funny. Everybody assumes getting good people is difficult, and I've never had difficulty doing that. I suppose our films are strange or interesting enough that people are intrigued. And the connection was the producer, Arnon Milchan, who produced Once Upon a Time in America and King of Comedy. So he and Bobby were very close, and I had met Bobby, and we talked about him doing something in Monty Python's Meaning of Life, and he didn't like that idea. But when we did Brazil, he liked the idea of becoming involved, and I gave him a script and said, choose whichever character you want to play, and the one he wanted to play wasn't Tuttle, which he plays, which is a freelance plumber, but it was Jack Lint, the character Michael Palin plays. And I had to explain that I'd already given that part away to Michael, and I think he wanted that because it's a more complex part. It's a stranger character, which I think he's happier with, and I wanted him to play a hero. That's what he does as Tuttle, and heroes are simple characters, and they're very direct, and he doesn't normally play that. And I thought he would be great as a hero, and he was.
it together, kid.
So there is no relation with George Orwell's 1984?
Well, only in that it's the same story. Oh, oops, I wasn't supposed to say that. No, I was interested in doing something that had the same effect as 1984 had in 1948. Because 1984 is not about 1984, it's about 1948. And I like the idea of doing 1984 in 1984, and so it's different. There are similarities, but I think they're quite different things. I wasn't interested in doing the book at all. I mean, that didn't interest me. I liked the idea of using our own experience and see what that leads to. And I think it owes as much to Kafka or Stanley Kubrick, or I mean, there's a million people that can take credit for their part in Brazil that are just as important as George Orwell. But a lot of people made the film.
Jill! 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 Oh, God. Are you all right? What happened to you after the...
Your face. Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine. Well, I've been worried sick about you.
Who was that?
As a friend of mine, he... Oh, God. Holy shit. We better get out of here quick. Come on.
Dit programma werd technisch verzorgd door een ploeg onder de leiding van Armand de Weer, hoofdtechnicus. Roel van Bambost is de regisseur, Martien Janssens assisteert en Leo Mees is de producer. De grafiek is van Patrick Isebaert. Volgende week ziet u een gewone aflevering van Première met veel fragmenten.